A new book explores what was considered the peak of the golden era of basketball, the 1987 NBA season. It was full of lots of drama, both on the court and off, between future Hall of Famers Michael Jordan, Magic Johnson, Larry Bird, and Isaiah Thomas. The book is called When the Game Was War, the NBA's greatest season. Author Rich Cohen joins us now. Good morning, Rich.
Good morning.
You know, I think for guys like all of us who probably came of age as NBA fans during this time, right, the late 80s, 90s, we are always going to look back and say, oh, that was the best era of basketball ever. That was, you know, but I think each generation kind of does that. What was it about this time in the NBA that says, no, this was the best time in basketball history?
Well, I think you can objectively argue it. I mean, just like you could say the 50s or 60s was the best time for baseball. First of all, there were more future Hall of Famers playing that season than would ever play again at one time. From the oldest being Kareem Abdul-Jabbar, who was 40, to Scottie Pippen, who was a rookie, and Reggie Miller. And they pretty much spanned the whole history of basketball, the NBA. And also, I just think the way I pitched it was Game of Thrones on the hard court. You had four great dynasties fighting for one crown at one time, which was the Celtics with Bird, who were already getting old, the Lakers with Magic, the Bulls were the future, though no one knew it. They were kind of like the king of dragons. And then, the Pistons, who didn't win, but really should have, and were kind of already the best team in basketball, and they'd win the next two, though no one, not even the Pistons, realized it yet.
Yeah. It's funny, yeah, the Sixers had four Hall of Famers in their starting lineup and couldn't win their division against the Celtics. But why did it take Michael Jordan so long to figure out how to counter the Pistons? I mean, a couple of years went by before he kind of went into the weight room to bulk up.
Well, you basically need a team to beat a team. And their coach was Doug Collins, who'd been a superstar player and was sort of just as into the games as the players. And I think it took somebody more detached to stand back like Phil Jackson and say, we can't try to beat the Pistons playing the Pistons game. We'll never do it. And Jordan had to rely on everybody else. But one of the things that really interested me was each one of as a kid, I didn't understand why the Pistons played they did. They're really the heart of When the Game Was War, with Rodman and Lambeer, who was like the most hated guy, and Isaiah from Chicago. And I realized that the Pistons were built the way they were to beat the Celtics. And the Celtics were built the way they were to beat the 76ers. And that's like history, you know? I would say you can't understand what the United States was without understanding the Soviet Union. You can't understand the way the Bulls were built without understanding the Detroit Pistons. And it was a matter of figuring out how to beat that team. And that's why for a lot of us, when the Bulls played the Pistons, that was really the final and more interesting than the actual final.
You talk about of the four teams and the four players, Bird and Johnson, Bird and Jordan kind of represent the future and the past, I guess you would say, of the NBA. Bird and Jordan, would you say those two, perhaps more than any of the other contemporaries of theirs, not necessarily in style of play, but in psychological makeup and how they were on the court, they were very similar. Trash-talking, intense guys.
Yeah, so is Isaiah, too. I mean, I think that the three-point shot has kind of pulled all the action out of the center of the court. And when I look at a game now, it's kind of looking like at a downtown that's been abandoned of people. It's empty. Where is everybody? If you remember those games, everybody was in the paint fighting for the ball and fighting for the rebound. And you got to be very, very tough and very, very resilient. And in that 87-88 finals, from my watch, there were two times during that finals where Isaiah Thomas was unconscious, was knocked out. And he came back and he contributed after having to leave the game. So it was really almost like the NHL in a way, in that it was the war of attrition. And when trying to think of a title, I was like, what's different about the game then? What was so special about it? And it was, the game was a war. And I spoke to Danny Ainge about this. He was on the Celtics. He was so interesting. He sort of said, you know, first of all, if you want to know how great it was, look at all the teams that would have won in any other era but didn't. Like the Hawks with Dominique Wilkins and the Bucks. And also look at the fact that you had McHale played a whole season in the playoffs on a broken foot. Nobody would do that now, because for players, it's like a choice between the moment or the long term. The long term is the career, and nobody wants to sacrifice their long term with everything at stake for the moment. But back then, you felt like these guys were always choosing the moment over the career, and it's what made the game so incredibly intense.
All right. For more, follow Rich Cohen on his social media pages. Rich, thank you so much.
Thanks for having me.
Thanks, Rich.